Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Explain Maths. In this video, I will be introducing inverse proportions and then I will try these questions given in page 139 of the NCERT textbook, and after that I will solve few example sums. So let's begin the class. Now if you can see here, a worker is constructing a wall and you can see there is only one worker and they have to complete the construction of this wall. Now in the second scenario, you can see there are many workers and they are also constructing the same wall. Now you only imagine where the work will finish fast, in the first case or in the second case. Think about it. Pause the video, think about it. So if number of workers are more, obviously they will take less time to finish the work, isn't it? Because more worker, more manpower. So they will take less time in completing the same amount of work. So from here, can I say that if number of workers increases, time taken to complete the job decreases? Yes or no? If more workers, they will take less time. So from here, I can see if one is increasing, the other is decreasing. Number of workers have increases, time taken to complete the job decreases. So I can say that such type of relation as they are inversely related to each other. Inversely means they are opposite to each other. One increases, other decreases. Now let's see the second case. Now here you can see there are three pipes which is filling a tank. And again in the second picture, if you can see, there is only one pipe filling the same tank. So you just think where the tank will get filled fast, in the first case or in the second case. Think about it, pause the video and think about it, and then think whether they are directly proportional or inversely proportional. So if you see in the first case, there are three pipes which is filling the same tank, isn't it? So obviously the time taken to fill the tank here, it will be less because number of pipes are more. Whereas in the second case, there is only one pipe. So here they are going to take more time to fill the same tank. So from here, I can write if the number of pipes decreases, time taken to fill the tank increases. So again, they are inversely related to each other. If one is decreasing, the other is increasing. In the previous scenario, we have seen when one was increasing, other was decreasing. Here, if number of pipe is decreasing, the time taken to fill the tank is increasing. So again, this is also inversely related to each other. So here I have taken one scenario where price of each book is given and number of books I can purchase is also given. So when price of book is 40, I can buy 150 books, copies of the same book. If price of the book is 150, only 50 rupees, I can buy 120 rupees. So if you see, if the price of book is increasing, the number of books which I can buy is decreasing. So again from here I can say that they are inversely related to each other and I am keeping my money as constant. In the same amount I have to buy the books. So if the price of the book is increasing, the number of books purchased will be less because books are becoming more costly. So if I represent the price of book as my X and the number of books purchased be Y, then what happens? As the price of one book is increasing, my number of copies which I can buy, that is decreasing, isn't it? And what happens to the product of X and Y? If you find the product of X and Y in each case, what you will see that 40 into 150, this will give me 6,000. Same way 50 into 120, this will also give me 6,000. 60 into 100, this is also 6,000. The same way, if you see in each case, the product of X and Y is 6,000, isn't it? So we say that when X and Y are in inverse proportion, then there exists a relation, and the relation is the product of X and Y is a constant K, isn't it? This is the relation. Now in case of direct proportion, we have seen that the ratio of X and Y remains constant throughout. But here the product of X and Y remains constant throughout. So you have seen in each case the product is coming as 6,000 here. And for inverse proportion, we can write X is inversely proportional to Y. So I have already explained this in my previous introduction video of direct proportion. This is the sign of proportionality. And when it is in inverse proportion, so it will be x is related to 1 by y because they are in inverse proportion. And if I will assume y1 and y2 are the values of y corresponding to the values of x1 and x2, then x1 y1, x2 y2, they all will be constant. It means if I'm considering my 40 as x1, this as x2, x3, and so on, and this as y1, y2, y3, and so on. So my product will remain constant throughout. So x1 into y1, x2 into y2, x3 into y3, and so on will be a constant k. So this is your inverse relation. Okay. So you have to remember, in case of direct proportion, x by y remains constant, whereas in case of inverse proportion, the product of x and y remains constant. Now let's see some of the try these questions. So this is your question number 1 of try these given in page 139 of your textbook. So observe the following table and find which pair of variables are in inverse proportion. So just now I have explained, if they are in inverse proportion means the product of x and y should remain constant, isn't it? So if I'm going to mark my 50 as this is x1, x2, x3, x4, and this is y1, y2, y3 and y4. Now let's find the product of it. So x1, y1, if you find it is 50 into 5, you are going to get 250. Now if you have to find x2 and y2, so it is 40 into 6, which is 240. So from here only you can say that it is not in inverse proportion, because in the first two case only the product is not same, right? But still you can find out for all. 30 into 7 is 210, and x4 into y4, which will give me 20 into 8, this is 160. So in each case, if you can see x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3, and x4 y4, they are not constant, their values are changing. So from here I can say that they are not in inverse proportion. Okay, so the first one is not in inverse proportion. Now next we will see for second case. Now here also again I am going to write it as x1, x2, x3, x4, and this is y1, y2, y3 and y4. And again I'm going to find the product of it. So x1, y1 is 100 into 60, which will give me 6000. x2, y2 will give me 200 into 30, which will give me 6000. Then x3, y3, this is 300 into 20. This will give me again 6000. So till now you can see in each case I have got the same value. Now x4, y4, if I have to find, it is 400 into 15. And here also I have got my value as 6000. So from here you can see that x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 and x4, y4, they all are constant, which is 6000. So from here I can say they are in inverse proportion. Okay. Now moving to the next part of it. Now this is the third case. Now here again, this is my x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. Now for down part, I am not writing y1, y2, y3. You have to assume it now. So now let's find the product. x1, y1 is 90 into 10, which is equal to 900. Now you can pause your video and you can solve it by yourself, and then you can check. Now x2, y2 is 60 into 15. And 60 into 15 if you do, again you will get 900. Now next is x3, y3, which is 45 into 20. So this is also giving me 900. So till now I can see like it is looking like inverse proportion. But let's find for other values also. Okay. Maybe in other values you may not get the same product. So 30 into 25. 25 times 3 is 75. So this is giving me 750. And then x5, y5 is equal to 20 into 30, which will give me 600. And then x6, y6 is giving me 5 into 35, which is equal to 175. So from here you can see the product of x and y is not same in all the cases. Only in the first three cases it is coming as 900. Rest all the cases it is different. So from here I can say that they are not in inverse proportion. Clear? Now next I'm going to solve the example sums of the NCERT textbook. But before I begin this question, I'm requesting everyone, those who are watching this video, that if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and please like and share with your friends also. So let's move to question number 1. So question number 1 says that 6 pipes are required to fill a tank in 1 hour 20 minutes. So you can see here in the picture there are 6 pipes and they are filling the tank, and it is given they take 1 hour 20 minutes. How long will it take if only 5 pipes of the same type are used? Now you have to find, if I initially it was 6 pipes, now I am reducing 1 pipe from there. So if now I have 5 pipes, then how much time it will take to fill? So obviously when you reduce the number of pipes, then it is going to take more time because 1 pipe is less here, right? So from here, can I say that it is a case of inverse relation? Because if you are decreasing the number of pipe, the time taken to fill the tank is increases, right? So from here I can write, let the time taken be y2 minutes. And here in the first case, if you see 6 pipes are required to fill a tank in 1 hour 20 minutes. This also I'm going to convert in minutes. And then later on when I'll get my final answer, again I will convert my answer in hours and minutes if required. Now 1 hour is 60 minutes and 60 and then plus 20 minutes. So this will give me 80 minutes, isn't it? So from here I can write it is 80 minutes. So I have assumed number of pipes as X and time taken to fill the tank is Y. And as I said, as X decreases here, as I am decreasing the number of pipes, what will happen with the Y? The time taken will increase. So it is in inverse proportion, and we know that in inverse proportion, the product of X and Y remains constant. So from here I can say X1 Y1 equal to X2 Y2 equal to K. Now let's solve it. I am going to substitute the values over here. So this is your X1, this is your X2, and this is your y1 and this is your y2, right? So from here I can write 6 into 80 is equal to 5 into y2. And to find the value of y2, I'm going to transpose 5 to the other side. So it will, multiplication will change to division. And now let's simplify it. 5 times 1, 5 times 16. So 16 into 6 will give me 96 minutes. Then convert it in hours and minutes. So it will give me 1 hour. Now 1 hour is 60 minutes. Now it is 96. So 96 minus 60 will give me 36. So 1 hour 36 minutes. So 5 pipes will take 1 hour 36 minutes to fill the tank. Question number 2. There are 100 students in a hostel. Food provision for them is for 20 days. How long will this provision last if 24 more students join the group? So in the beginning, it is given that there are only 100 students, and for those 100 students there is a food available that was for 20 days. Whatever food was there in stock, that will they can serve those 100 students for 20 days. But what happened? 25 more students joined. Means now the student became 100 plus 25, which is 125. Then how long the food will last? So obviously if you increase the number of students and you are not increasing the food which you have available in your stock, so what will happen? The food will last for less days because the number of students are more here, isn't it? So if you increase the number of students, the food provision will last for less days, isn't it? So again, it is a case of inverse proportion. So from here I can write, let the provision of food will last for y2 days when the number of student is 125. And from where I got 125? Because it says 25 more students joined. So earlier I was having 100. Now 25 more have joined. So it became 125. So now, as it is a case of inverse proportion, so again I can say x1 y1 equal to x2 y2 equal to k. Now let's put the values over here. So it will be 100 into 20 is equal to 125 into y2. And let's find the value of y2. So it will be 100 into 20 divided by 125. So 5 times 25, 5 times 4, 25 times 1, 25 times 4. So 4 into 4, 16 days. So if there are 125 students, the food will last for only 16 days. So you can see these type of questions are very easy, isn't it? Just you have to identify whether it is a direct proportion or inverse proportion, and accordingly you have to solve the question, isn't it? So now when I'm solving this video, these questions in the video, if you already know how to solve it, please pause my video, solve it, okay, and then again check your answer, isn't it? So it will help you in improving your concept. So let's move to the another question. Here it is given if 15 workers can build a wall in 48 hours, how many workers will be required to do the same work in 30 hours? Isn't it? So here you can see the time they have decreased, isn't it? They have to construct the same wall because it is given the same work. It means same wall they have to build, but the time they have decreased. 48 hours they reduced to 30 hours. So if you decrease the time, okay, you want to complete your work fast, it means you need more manpower, right? Then only if you get more helping hand, your work will finish fast. So when you reduce the time, what will happen? You need more workers, isn't it? So again, this is a case of inverse proportion because when you're decreasing the time, the number of workers you have to increase, isn't it? So from here I can write, let the number of workers employed to build the wall in 30 hours be x2. Okay. And again, I have said, as you can see, the time taken is decreasing. From 48, it is becoming 30. So the number of workers you have to increase. So as y decreases, x will increase. So it is a case of inverse proportion. And again, in case of inverse proportion, the product will be a constant. So from here, I can write again 15 into 48 is equal to x2 into 30. And then to find the value of x2, 15 into 48, you have to divide by 30. So 15 times 1, 15 times 2, 48 divided by 2 is 24. So they need 24 workers to complete the job in 30 hours, isn't it? So that's all for today's class. I have solved all the example sums which is given in your NCERT textbook. Okay, and keep practicing because practice makes a man perfect. And if you till now, if you did not subscribe my channel, please subscribe it and share with your friends also. So let's see you in the next class.